Hey there, do you dream of escaping into a book? Maybe your escape includes a cozy cabin in the mountains or a magical town along the coast. Either way, you're in the right place. Welcome to Literary Escapes with me, Becky. This year on the podcast, we're exploring the United States. So every week I'm going to bring you a new book set in a different state. So let's see where we're going today. Welcome back to the Literary Escapes podcast. I am excited to have a friend of mine on the podcast today. We are still working our way through the U.S. on our Read Across the U.S. journey. And today we are stopping in Arkansas. Our tour guide is author Tia Marlee. Welcome, Tia.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to talk to you. I know you like IRL in real life. And our journeys have kind of paralleled each other a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited to actually hear it and talk to you about it. But let's talk about Arkansas. Tell me what your experience is with Arkansas. I was trying to think before we got on, and I think I've been to Arkansas once. It was, good Lord, decades ago. I was traveling with a friend, and we visited Elvis's house in Memphis and then went to Arkansas. Are they near each other? I don't even know.
Not really. I mean, a little bit, not really.
Okay, I don't even know that. I should have looked at a map. But that's like all I know of it. I have no memory of actually seeing Arkansas. So help a girl out here. Tell me all about Arkansas.
So, Arkansas is called the natural state kind of for a reason. Lots of lakes and beautiful trees and scenery and mountains and, well, yeah, mountains. I'll call them mountains.
Okay.
That you can hike and whatnot. So when I was about 3, my mom moved me to Northwest Arkansas, to this little itty bitty town called Garfield. And I think there was maybe 400 people in the town.
Holy moly, that is small.
Yeah, super small,
Wow.
super small. And like same kids in the same grade, one class per grade. You grew up with the same kids.
Yeah.
It was good. Very rural. So
I would imagine.
not a lot of like big stores or anything nearby when you're a tiny town of 300.
Holy moly.
So it's kind of just outside the Rogers-Bentonville area where I grew up.
Okay.
And what I remember the most, just absolutely loving growing up there, is being able to go to Beaver Lake in the summer, and we would swim, and my grandparents had a boat, so they would take us out and we would do tubing and all kinds of stuff on the lake, and it was a lot of fun. And then I grew up on a farm out there, which is kind of interesting.
That's cool. What kind of animals did you all have?
We had cows mostly, and then we had some chickens. The chickens were kind of a pain in the butt, not gonna lie.
They do tend to be.
And our closest neighbor had some geese, and so occasionally they would.
Geese are kind of mean sometimes.
They are. They would chase me down the driveway.
Yeah.
When you're little, getting chased by a goose is a big deal.
They were probably about as big as you if you were 3 years old. Holy moly. So how long did you live there?
So I lived in Arkansas from the time that I was 3 until just before I turned 14.
Wow. Okay. So that's basically most of your growing up. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of my kid years were in Arkansas, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was just such a great experience. And then living in the tiny town, you really get a feel for small town life. Everybody knows everybody's business. Nobody could do anything. Like none of us kids could do anything without somebody's mama knowing about it.
Right. And before you got home, your mama knew about it.
Yeah, my mama knew about it before I ever even hit the front door. So
I grew up in a
there's things
similar town.
Replicate. Yes. Yeah. There's things that you can't replicate in big cities, and that's kind of one of them.
Yeah.
So I do have just a real soft spot for small towns.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And so I met you when you lived in Florida. Did you move from Arkansas to Florida? Was that
I did.
okay.
I
Okay.
did. So just before I turned 14, I moved in with my grandmother and my aunt in the Daytona Beach area.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, and lived there, gosh, lots of years. I
Yeah.
went away to college, came back, and then my husband and I moved to Orlando in 2012, I think it
Okay.
was. Yeah, we lived
Yeah.
there until 2022, so 10 years, and then we
You've been in,
trekked
wow.
across the country to Texas. So
Wow. And you've been there for 2 years already. That's craziness.
yeah,
I
two
can't believe
years.
that.
I know.
Wow.
I'm still trying to adjust to the heat here.
Yeah, the Florida heat's different, I would imagine. I
It
mean, we
is.
get
It's a
our heat,
wet heat
but
with a breeze, and
yeah.
it cools off at night.
Yeah, I mean, at
Uh,
least we get rain showers every afternoon and yeah.
yeah, we
So,
don't.
ugh.
It was 107 degrees when my daughter was doing archery at 6
Oh
p.m.
my
Tuesday
gosh.
night.
That's
So
insane. That's insane. Do
yeah,
you remember Arkansas being hot?
it's really weird. I don't remember it
Okay.
being quite this hot.
Yeah.
Um, when we were growing up, as soon as it hit 60 degrees, we were throwing on our shorts and our t-shirts and
Yeah.
just really living it up because it was hot outside.
That's so funny.
I know, we're
As a
crazy.
Florida
Looking
girl,
back,
if
I'm
it
like,
hits
how did I
60
not
degrees, we're in our parkas.
right? Like, how did
That's
I
so
not
funny.
freeze to death? But
Yeah.
you're a kid.
Yep.
Kids have immunity to these things, I guess. But
I love that.
yeah, I don't really remember it being overly hot.
Okay.
Uh
I
so
love
I do
I
remember snow, lots of snow when I
ooh,
was little. Yeah, snow days, being snowed in for like a week because again,
I
little
can't even
bitty town.
imagine that. Yeah.
Mhm.
I it's interesting because it seems like Arkansas is a pretty diverse state. Um,
It is.
between the mountains and the lakes, and I am not sure what I had pictured in my head, but it wasn't that. I think it was more
Okay.
flat, dry, dusty is what I had
Oh
pictured, and it
no.
doesn't sound like that at all.
Mm-mm.
That's so
Nope, not at
cool.
all. There's rolling hills and there's mountains and there's rivers and lakes and all kinds of things.
That's really cool. And obviously the
It's
Four
it's
Seasons,
really a
right?
great place to enjoy. Yeah, all four seasons. You get all four. Um, it's a great place to enjoy the outdoors, I'll say. We did a
That's
lot of
really
hiking
cool.
around the house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Um, and when we were kids growing up, it was go outside, I'll see you
Same.
when the stars come out.
Yeah, be
And
home in time for
so
dinner was ours.
yeah, so we would hike up all behind the house in the hills and the mountains, and we would play in the creek beds and,
Yeah,
you know, just
I love
whatever
that.
caught our fancy, honestly. We were outdoor
Yeah,
kids.
lots of imaginative games I remember from my own childhood, and I love that. So that's really
Yeah, my
cool.
kids were horrified when they found out that I had a little tackle box that I would catch daddy long legs and put him in there and, you know. But when you're a kid
That's-
and you're surrounded by nature and you're outdoors for, 9, 10, 11 hours,
yeah,
you
you do
entertain
stuff.
yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we had forts everywhere because we had
Mhm.
lots of space and orange trees.
Yep.
And yeah, I love that. That's so fun. So you and I met. You were, I think, and you can correct me, I think you started your journey as an author PA. Is that correct?
Yes.
Like an author, personal assistant kind of person.
Yeah.
How did you go from that to an author?
So it's actually kind of interesting. I intentionally set out to be an author PA before I ever published anything as a way to learn the business part of the industry,
Okay.
and to give myself some more time to hone the craft side a
So
little bit
you
more. I
knew
didn't
going
want,
into that you wanted to be an author.
yes. Yeah, that was the
Ah,
ultimate
I
goal.
love that. Okay.
Yeah.
That is so
So
cool.
but there's so many moving parts to being an author. There's the
Mhm.
marketing, there's the business stuff, there's finding covers and editors and proofreading and all of the things that
All
you
the
don't
things.
know that you don't know
Mhm.
until you get into it. And so I thought, I'm going to go at this backwards. I'm going
I like
to
that.
learn all the business stuff first, and then I'm going to publish. And that's what I did. And I still work as a PA, which is great because it covers some of the author
Yeah.
costs. Writing a book, not cheap.
It's not
Um,
cheap. Yeah.
it's not cheap. And so I still do that part-time, and my writing is leaning more heavily on my time now. So
Yeah. That's so
just
cool.
rearranging things. Yeah. So I've really enjoyed the journey from deciding that I was actually going to put my work out there.
Yeah.
I think all writers started out at some point in their life writing little skits or stories or telling stories in their head, or I think it's just a part of who you are.
Mhm.
And then, I never had the confidence to publish anything. I always thought that was somebody else's job.
It,
I wasn't good enough.
well,
And
I like that because I've heard some statistics recently that like this huge percentage of people say that they want to write a book. And of
mhm,
that huge number, whatever it is, 10% of them actually start writing a book. Of those people, of that 10%, about 10% of those actually finish a book. And of
mhm.
that group, about 10% actually publish it. And there's
Isn't that
whole
wild?
nother statistics about selling it, but
Oh
hitting
yeah.
publish puts you in kind of a rare group, which I think is super cool.
It
And it
is
is
super cool.
brave. I
I remember the first time I heard that statistic just being blown away.
It's amazing, yeah. And when you think about the millions of books out there, it's hard to remember that maybe that as authors, we are part of a small group of people, but we are, which is kind of cool. So
Yeah.
I love
It's
that.
a lot smaller, the author world, than I think most people realize.
Mm-hmm.
Like the 10 degrees of Kevin Bacon or something like that.
Yeah.
You can really work your way around 10 degrees of knowing somebody who knows somebody else who's,
Mm-hmm.
in the industry. And it's kind of interesting. And then what I really love about being an author is the community of authors and
Yes.
how everyone works together and lifts each other up and supports each other. And I just think that that's amazing. I mean, of course, you get drama occasionally, but
Right.
for the most part, it's the most welcoming, encouraging, inclusive group. And I've never experienced anything like it.
I agree. And the people that we interact with want us to succeed, and they know that it takes nothing away from them or their success. Our success
Right.
doesn't impede them at all. And so it's, yeah, I agree. It's an amazing group of people, and I am
I just
very
want us all to
blessed.
succeed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love when my friends, when somebody publishes a book or something amazing happens, I am always down with celebrating those wins.
Yes.
So yeah. Now your book, I think you and I published our first books like within weeks, if not days of each other.
Yeah, we did. I think we kept that pace for
A
a couple
while.
of releases. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So your first book, was it Wishing for the Girl Next Door? Is that your first book?
It wasn't. So
Okay.
Wishing for the Girl Next Door is book 3 in the series. So my
Okay.
first published book was book 1, which was His Christmas Wish. And it
Okay.
kind of sets the stage for the small fictional town of Piney Brook, nestled in Northwest Arkansas. Kind of a little bit of my hometown experiences mixed with
Nice.
Hallmark life and all the things.
All the good things. Yep.
All the good things.
I
Yeah.
love that. And so how did you, I guess I was going to say, how did you come up with this town, but it sounds like your childhood influenced a lot of it. I love
A
that.
lot of it. Yeah.
Okay.
I really wanted to, give a nod to my childhood,
Mhm.
and the experiences that I had growing up because, like I said, nothing really is the same
Yeah.
anymore as it was when we were kids, first of
Oh,
all. And then
sure.
secondly, having lived in bigger cities now for a while, just really missing that super small hometown feel. So
Mhm.
I can escape there with my books now.
I think that's why small town books, series are so popular. And I think my first introduction into that type of world was Debbie Maycomer. And I can't even
Oh,
remember the
yes.
name of the town, but somewhere in Washington, like Port Orchard, maybe something like that. And
That sounds familiar.
something like that. Yeah. But you get
Yeah.
to know the whole town and all their stories, and you feel like you're part of it. And
Yeah, you do.
yeah. And
And there's always something going on.
there's always something going on. Yeah.
Yeah, a festival or a,
And everybody finds
street
love.
celebration. Yeah.
I love that.
It's
So
astonishing to me though in these small towns, not gonna lie, how many people are still looking for love in
pretty
these
much the
super
whole
tiny
town.
towns. So if we think about it realistically, we may statistically be in trouble, but it's okay because it's all fictional and fun.
Well, and we don't read romance for reality. We read it to get away
Goodness
from
no,
reality. So I think
for
we're
sure.
okay there. I think we're okay there. So tell me about the
Exactly.
Piney Brook series. What's the premise of it? And
So I adore this series, and I'm kind of sad that I'm leaving it behind next year and starting something new.
ooh,
Um, Similar vibe, similar area, just new.
okay.
Um, so the Piney Brook series, it's Piney Brook Wishes is the name of the series, and it's all about second chances at love. Not necessarily your second chance romance tropes, but people finding love again when they didn't think that that was going to be possible for them.
Mm,
Which is a huge theme in my life. My mom was widowed very, very young. My grandmother was single most of my whole life.
wow.
Um, so just giving people hope and an opportunity to realize that, yes, you have your person, you have your one love that is your
Yeah.
love, but if something happens, that doesn't mean that you don't get another chance at being loved and being in love and having a person. And I think that
Right.
especially after COVID, and we were also isolated, I realized how important, having a person
Mm,
really is, having a support system, maybe not a significant other person, because that's not for everybody. And I
right.
recognize that. But, having a support person. So there's a lot of found family, friends
I
who
like that. Yeah.
become family, and just the small town celebrations and vibes, and everyone helping each other and lifting each other up, and I just love
Hmm.
that vibe, and I think that the world needs so much more of that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So I just love this little series.
That's fun. And so there are 5 books in this series. Is that right?
There are 4 novels and a short story right now,
Okay.
and another short story coming. Shh.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So 4 novels and a short story
Yeah,
with maybe more to come. Um,
maybe more to come.
yeah. And then so you're doing kind of a branching off of this series for your next one. Is that what next year's going to look like?
Yeah. So, um, all of my books are kind of interconnected standalones. So I'm
Yeah.
also part of the author group, the Coffee Loft, and those also take place in Piney Brook with some side characters that kind of build on um, what I've already established in the series, and then um, we're going to go from some of the characters that we know and love are going to kind of fall in love with people who are that's going to be brothers and a sister, and they
Okay.
inherit a ranch. And so they're all kind of working together to put their own spin on this new ranch life.
Okay.
And I love in the process. And I think that it's going to be a really fun,
That's going to be a lot of fun.
really
And
fun
is it
little
in
addition.
Piney Brook?
It is not technically in Piney Brook. It's just outside. So
Gotcha. Okay.
it's kind of between Piney Brook and another made up town called Barberville.
Okay.
And they're gonna, but like Piney Brook is the closest little town, so they
Okay.
go into Piney Brook quite a bit. Yeah, so you're gonna see some crossover
It's
stuff.
funny. Is Piney Brook like a 300 or 400 person town also, or is it a little bit bigger than?
It's a little bigger.
Okay.
A little bigger than that. Probably like 10 or 15,000 people there,
Okay.
which is still kind of small.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's fun. I like it when like a few hundred people is the big town.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of how it was growing up for a while.
Yeah.
To go grocery shopping in Arkansas where we lived, because we lived so remotely, it was like 45-minute drive to the
so you
big
don't go
town
like
that had
run
the
in there
Walmart.
for milk or anything. That's for dang sure.
Oh no. We had 2 big deep freezers. And we would buy things in bulk, and you can freeze milk, you can freeze bread. And so
Yeah.
I think we went to the grocery store like once a month or once every
That's
2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, because it was really a drive. It was a haul. So,
and especially if you're dragging a kid or kids and all of that, it's a
bless my
whole
mom.
day adventure.
There were times when there were 4 of us. I have
That's
2
an
stepbrothers
adventure.
that would come to visit for the summers, and a little sister. And so I really don't know how she did it.
Yeah.
There were a lot of us. So a lot of mouths to feed.
Yep. I love that. That's fun. So tell me about the Coffee Loft series. That is such a fun series. And how did you get involved with that? And tell me about your books in there.
So I was invited to join the first season, which was last winter, I guess. So
Okay.
the first book that I released came out in January of this year. It was the winter series. And I was just invited by a friend of mine, the author world and connections.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Why not? Let's give it a try. So I jumped in and I just fell in love. So it's a multi-author series. Each author puts one book, and it's seasonal. So the upcoming one is more fall.
Okay.
The first one, like I said, is more of the winter vibes. All of the titles are super fun coffee puns, which I just absolutely adore.
Yeah.
I think one of the ones coming up is like pumpkin spice baby.
Yeah.
You Mocha Me Crazy is mine. Brewing up love or something like that.
There was one like love you a latte or something like that.
Yes. Yep.
Love you a latte. A new one or one from last season.
I think that one, the first season, there are something like 30 books now, so it's hard to keep them all straight.
Yeah, I love that.
But they're all in KU. They're all on Amazon, which is super fun. And all of the authors work really hard to kind of cross promote each other, which is a great time. And they're
such a great thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're funny.
Yeah.
The puns don't stop at the
with the title.
It's so fun.
And so the thing that pulls them all together is that they all have a Coffee Loft coffee shop in the book.
Yes. Yep. So some of the main characters will be coffee shop owners or baristas, or maybe they just met at the coffee shop or something like that. But all of the books are tied together with the Coffee Loft coffee shop. And then several of the authors get together and kind of create crossover characters. So, it's just super fun. It's just been a really great project to be a part of.
That's so fun. I love it. And so you have your next Coffee Loft book, You Mocha Me Crazy, is due out next month, September 26th, which is super cool. There is a group on Facebook. It's called the
Coffee Loft After Party.
Coffee Loft
Yep.
After Party. Yeah. So
Mhm.
get in there if you like fun, sweet contemporary romance. They're funny, they're short, they're a good time, and a variety of authors. So go into that group and you'll get to meet all the authors, which is a lot of fun. So when is your next Piney Brook out, or is that one scheduled yet?
So I am working right now on a short story that I'm going to add to a limited time boxed set that will come out probably in the beginning of November for Christmas.
Nice.
And it'll probably stay out through January and then come back down.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm excited to add. A lot of people have been asking for these particular characters, and I just don't have a whole book to give them right now, but
Mhm.
I do have a little bit of something for them. So
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and
That'll be
deliver
fun.
that and see
Something
what
to look
people
forward
think.
to for sure.
Yeah, I'm
Awesome.
excited about it.
Awesome. So, do you have the name of the series for next year yet?
Yes, so Arkansas's flower is actually the apple blossom.
Okay.
The state flower. And so the title of the next series will be the Apple Blossom Ranch.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm super
What a
excited
great
about it.
name. Yeah, well, I can't wait for that one either. So that's going to be a ton of fun. Tia, thank you so much for showing up and introducing us to Arkansas today. It has been a lot of fun getting to know both
My pleasure.
Arkansas and your books. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been so fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me today. If you'd like to be part of the Read Across the U.S. Book Club, I'd love to have you join us. There is a link in the show notes, so just head down there and click and we will welcome you in. So see you in the book club, I hope. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week with a new episode.